Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington.
So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Brandi Glanville entering the chat about PK, Kyle, Dorit, all of it, my biggest question is Brandi, shouldn't you be worried about your face? And I don't mean that in a mean way. I am being very serious and literal. Like, worry about your face. Anyway, before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So, with that, let's dive right on in. So, in case you don't know what I was talking about regarding Brandi Glanville's face, she came out with a post a couple weeks ago about having a parasite on her face. Her face looked very the texture was, I mean, just Google it and you'll see it all come up. Her face just looked very unhealthy and mangled and sunken, and like things were, it's just a mess. And so when I say that, I'm being very serious. Like, I don't know how Brandi Glanville has the time to comment on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when she's literally having Dr. Terry Dubrow from the OC. He is now taking pieces of her face to analyze it, to get it tested, to see exactly what's going on with her face and her skin, and to hopefully help her out. So, Brandi, focus on your health, focus on your face, and getting better. But since you are clapping back out loud, I'm going to clap back out loud right back at you. So let's dive in. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Brandi Glanville suggested that PK Kimsley texts to Cal Richards were, quote, calculated, as he allegedly wanted Dorit Kimsley off the show. The alum also hinted that Kyle is jealous of Dorit for taking her storyline. On the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, castmates discovered that PK and Cal texted each other amid their respective separations. PK moved out of his shared home with Dorit last year, not long after Kyle separated from PK's friend Mauricio Umansky. Recently, according to Dorit, PK sent an email threatening to divorce her. Quote, I thought that PK and Kyle being in communication was calculated on PK's part, said former castmate Brandi on her Brandi Glanville Unfiltered podcast, because he wanted probably Dorit off the show so she didn't have this platform. She also speculated that PK probably doesn't want Dorit to have an income right now. I'm sure there's things that he doesn't want out there, she went on. So I think he wants to take this platform away from Dorit as much as Kyle might want her gone as well. I think that Kyle is probably jealous in this moment that Dorit is kind of stepping on her toes, Brandi continued. It's Kyle's turn to be the victim in Kyle's mind. I think because, her husband of 30 years is divorcing her. And then here comes Dorit with these two young children. Oh, wait, I'm getting divorced too. And Kyle's like, that's my storyline. On the past episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills After Show, Dorit addressed a painful moment when her son Jagger asked about their separation. Okay, before we dive into that, Brandi Glanville, shut up and sit down and worry about yourself, because everything you just said makes zero sense. I don't agree with this take at all. Perhaps Brandi is projecting from her own life, her own issues, whatever the hell she has going on, but this take makes zero sense. Number one, I don't think that PK and Kyle's texts are calculated. I think that PK and Kyle were texting because the entire world was speculating on whether or not Mauricio and Dorit were smashing. I know that if the entire world is speculating if my husband is having an affair with my best friend and coworker, I'm gonna reach out to her husband, who I also know and have a relationship with, to compare notes. What have you heard? What has she said? What has happened? Can this be true? What are your thoughts? Where was Dorit at this time? This is where Mauricio was, to commiserate. You know what I mean? I don't think it's calculated. I think that they're trying to figure out, is this true? Are Mauricio and Dorit having an affair? Because the whole world is asking that question. You're damn right. Kyle and PK are going to ask it too. So I don't think that's calculated. I think that's human nature. I would do the same. If the world thinks my best friend is having sex with my husband, you're damn right. I'm talking to her husband to see what's going on. So I think that's really what's going on there. And Kyle and PK already had a relationship, so it's not like out of the blue with that. So I don't think it's calculated. I think that's wrong. I also think Brandi what she is saying, that PK wants her off the show, I don't think that's true at all. And saying that she doesn't want her to have an income, that also doesn't make any sense. purely from a financial standpoint, number one, they need the money. If, like Dorit said, PK was like, after this date, you're going to have to start paying the mortgage. You're going to have to start paying for this, that, and a third. If PK is telling her we're going to separate, we're going to divorce, and you have to start paying for these bills that we've accumulated, then why would he want her not to have an income if he's telling her she has to pay for things? So from a purely financial standpoint, that doesn't make sense. Of course, PK wants her to have an income. You know what I mean? They're being sued left, right, and center. They're being accused of fraud left, right, and center. Their house is being foreclosed on left, right, and center. They need that Bravo check. Of course, he wants to have income. Number two, from a purely financial standpoint, since they're getting divorced, PK would like to show. Wait 1 second, you guys. All right, we're back. So yeah, so from a purely financial standpoint, PK will want to show the court, hey, I don't have any income coming in. I don't have this money, but my wife, she's on Bravo. She's on a hit TV show. She's getting endorsements. She has her NBC check. She has all of this money. She should be paying me alimony, not me paying her alimony. She should be paying me alimony, right? Because PK is going to want to show the courts that Dorit is financially the breadwinner, that Dorit has the money, so he doesn't have to pay her. So that doesn't make any sense at all. Brandi, girl, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know if you're projecting from your own divorce or what's going on in your life, but your assumptions don't make any sense from a purely a financial standpoint. Why would he want her not to have an income? Why would he not want her on the show when, number one, they need the money, and number two, he could show that in his favor during the divorce in order not to have to pay her? At the end of the day, she might be paying him alimony. It's 2025. They don't be like, women are paying men these days. Look, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So that doesn't make any sense to me. And then also saying that Kyle is jealous of Dorit for stealing her storyline. I don't think that makes sense either. I don't think that Kyle is jealous of Dorit at all. I think that Kyle agrees with what Sutton said. You're mad at your life. You're not mad at me. You know what I mean? And so I don't think that Kyle is jealous of Dorit in any capacity. I think that Kyle herself is going through it. I don't think Kyle is perfect, but I don't think Kyle is jealous of Dorit, because at the end of the day, they might both be going through separations. They might both be going through divorces, but Kyle and Mauricio, yes, there's questions about the validity of their money in the sense of being sued and fraud and all of that, but the money is there. Whether or not it was there fraudulently, that's a whole nother video in question, but the money is there. Allegedly looks like it, whereas PK and Dorit also allegedly fraudulent money, but the money is gone. So I don't think that, I don't see why Kyle would be jealous of Dorit. And storyline, if anything, it would only strengthen her storyline to have a friend going through it with her. I don't think storyline even makes any sense in this context. So Brandi, I would probably worry about yourself, before you come out here talking about these women who are still on the show, due to your actions. Again, I'll just say alleged actions, and the Real Housewives Girl Ship Morocco, that whole season has now been scrapped. I would be worried about your own bottom line, your own pocket. I'm sure maybe NBC threw you some money just to get you to go away with your lawsuit. That's what I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But girl, I would worry about yourself. So yeah, I want to know what you guys think about this. What do you think about Brandi Glanville entering the chat about PK and Kyle and Dorit? I think she's off the mark with this. I think she needs to worry about herself and her face and getting her money up before talking about these people. That, to me, it's giving very Teddy Mellencamp. It's giving very Tamara Judge. It's giving very two peas in a pod, where their life is in shambles and is a hot mess, but they want to go and talk about other people within this context. I'm not being a hypocrite. I'm just a random person watching the show and using a YouTube channel. Very different. I am not on the show. I am not a part of that world by any means. So I'm going to sit up here and talk too. So with that, you guys, put it down below. Let me know what you guys think about all this. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.